Hi, John Lay here from Talented Learning with another hot take review. Today's hot take is on the Crowd Wisdom LMS. I love the Crowd Wisdom LMS. I found this company almost 10 years ago now, and I have been following them across time. They are just operating at the high end, the super high end of the B2B2B commerce market, content as a business market, whether that be for associations or for private training companies and publishers and republishers of content. And they're also stellar in the corporate extended enterprise space with partner and channel learning and with customer learning activities is their core target market. They've got Crowd Wisdom as part of the bigger company, much bigger company, Community Brands, which has lots of companies that kind of run or do run as independent entities under that umbrella, Crowd Wisdom being one of them. A lot of those other sister companies are focused in the association space, so they have a lot of experience there, especially with AMS integration into like NetForum, among others. They've got about 8.8 million enrollments a year going through their systems, 50 employees, 14 years, a couple hundred clients is their demographics. I just got off a 1-hour briefing with Phil Vervate, who is their VP of Operations. That's been there almost the entire time. What are some of the product differentiations? Well, there's a lot. Their differentiations are the hot feature sets of the industry. I just got done writing a blog post about training automation. We got to see their training automation engine. It's pretty cool. It's like an if-then engine that you can use to create and assign content, or really do a bunch of things. Put people in roles, show a you can show a home page, and the home page is made up of widgets to the learner, and you can show or not show different widgets, based on that rules-based engine. So you can get super granular on how you approach your learners, the messages that you give them. For example, learners. One use case could be with learners that aren't progressing as fast as they should when they go into the LMS the next time. Have a different experience, have a different messaging, have maybe ways that could help them accelerate and plan. So pretty cool stuff in that condition tree. Another thing that they have is what they call their B2B institutional model, their syndication model. But it's the concept that the example, would be that maybe you're an association in healthcare, and one of your main partners is a healthcare system, and that healthcare system is made up of couple different hospitals or different hospital chains, and each one of those hospitals, are made up of different departments and floors and things like that. And you're pushing content to all of those, and some of those different departments, some of those different sub-levels might want to sell to other sub-levels. And being able to track all the licensing of that, for tracking all the content back and forth, and being able to report on that is super complex. And having delegated administrators at all those different levels of that hospital example that can see dashboards and the information that they need to see is a complicated thing that they do really, really well. And by the way, all those if-then statements and all that information, it can come from anywhere across the institution. From a CRM, AMS, anything standpoint. So literally anything, any piece of data can be used inside that decision tree to make things happen. They have an assessment engine for high-stakes assessments, or primarily for high stakes, so you could use it for lower stakes. And it's really cool. It's basically an assessment engine that's based on category or competency that, for example, to pass, to become, this XYZ profession, you might have to know these 10 competencies. And each one of those competencies, might be a whole bunch of things that you need to know. And so, of course, the LMS can serve up the content part of that, but the test engine, it would be all the questions that are associated, with that particular competency. And from a master level, a learner can look to see, what are all my competencies? Where do I go? What percentage of that am I in each one of those 10 competencies that I need? I only have 10 minutes today. Let me create my own quiz and practice. And with that quiz, I can choose from the different competencies. I can make them randomized. I can randomize the distractor. I can give myself time limits. I can put myself in practice mode. I can flag questions that I think are unfair or don't work. I can basically cross out answers, create notes, rate my confidence level, and all of that is super reportable on the back end from Crowd Wisdom. administrator. That's a pretty cool thing. And then they also have this concept of the React technology, the React framework with their content editor, basically allowing you to create courses outside of courses, almost like web pages, almost like a CMS tool that allows you to create it, but all the elements on it are measurable, and it allows just for super fast adaptiveness, based on the learner and what's going on. So all that is really cool. And then finally, they have the concept of a reviewer role, and so what we have in the industry a lot is this concept of offline assignments for learners, and then learners upload that assignment, and then somebody needs to review that and maybe send that back or give it a grade or send it to another reviewer. So they built a whole engine that manages that whole process, which is pretty slick and much needed in the industry. And that's something that I've seen. I've seen the reviewer roles, but they've taken it a step further here, really building the whole engine so you can see the back and the forth and the communication. Last thing I'd like to say about them is they are on AWS, fully cloud-based, super modern, APIs, all that stuff. Almost table stakes, but they do have a deployment in China, and one of the very few LMS vendors that are authorized and know what it takes to set up deployments over there. So if you're an association, you're a corporate extended enterprise, you're sitting in China and want the best, I encourage you to review the Crowd Wisdom LMS. There you have it, folks. There's another hot take. We hope to see you on the next. I'm John Lay, and you can find more of our independent resources at talentedlearning.com.